Hello, and welcome to the most exciting recap of the most exciting season of The Bachelorette we've ever seen. Clare Crawley, who America fell in love with when she charmingly rebuffed Juan Pablo's skeezy statement that he would not be proposing to her. Welcome. It's Chris Harrison. See money. Hey. Yeah, I watched the show. It was great. You did great. Wonderful pausing. Wonderful dramatic interpretation. Yeah. I mean, it really seemed like, I don't know what you think, but I kind of think it will be the most dramatic season ever. I mean, I know we always say that, but I think this time it will be. Yeah, Chris. No, it was awesome. Are we still on for this Saturday? Is just tailgating with Waboom? Okay, great. Yeah, love Waboom. Haven't seen him in so long. Okay, no, I haven't read your novel yet, Chris, but I promise I will. All right. Thanks for calling, Chris. Bye now. Yeah, so Chris, such a dramatic guy, so wonderful. I'll never quite have his charm or his simple way of speaking about such a wonderful program as The Bachelorette. I may as well just give up this Chris Harrison routine. I just can't be kind of as smooth as him in this recap. But let's talk about the opening of The Bachelorette, which, as always, included some very impressive gentlemen who arrive in limousines and get out and do little stunts to impress the Bachelorette. So this begins with, I'll just go over the best ones just to save you 2 hours of your life. So Tyler, a gentleman named Tyler, shows up in this like 1981 Ford LTD station wagon. It might even have wood paneling, and it's packed with stuff. It's got stuff strapped to the top, and he tells Clare that it's got room in it for her and 2 kids and a couple dogs. And presumably he's driven this from Morgantown, West Virginia, where he's from. So Clare is impressed by this initially, it seems like, but also slightly disturbed, as would be anyone. Another highlight, a gentleman named Bennett shows up in a white Rolls Royce, and when he gets out of it, he is wearing kind of like a cool looking, what looks like sort of a towel around his neck. I guess it's actually a scarf, but it just sort of looks like he's like rakishly wearing a towel and kind of doing a sort of James Bond type thing where he drinks martinis, and he's just generally very impressive. So that's Bennett. So these are some great characters so far, Tyler and Bennett. Then a gentleman named Easy in a pink suit arrives, or pink, or sort of, I guess, salmon colored. This is often popular on The Bachelorette, salmon jackets. He's wearing a salmon colored jacket with matching pants, and he gets out of the limo and jumps through a giant sign that says, "Your future husband." So his name's Easy, he's Claire's future husband, and he's definitely going to be an important fixture in this season, I would imagine. So aside from Clare meeting someone very, very special, which I'll get to in a minute, the only other major storyline that really happens in this episode is the confrontation between station wagon driver Tyler with his 1981 station wagon and Yosef. And Tyler has heard through a mutual friend that Yosef has been sending texts to some woman that he knows through a mutual friend, and Clare puts on her amateur detective hat, brings them both together, and attempts to find out what really happened. And during this investigation, what we find out is the big smoking gun is that he sent someone a text that said, "Good morning, beautiful." And yes, that is really what the investigation is about. And let's talk about Claire's just general demeanor in this episode. So we see her in kind of a little interview with Chris Harrison. They talk about the seriousness of the moment with COVID going on and the heaviness of all that. And we can see, I would say, that Clare is just very, I would describe it as sort of fragile. She's constantly on the verge of tears, it would seem. And she clearly is worked herself up into kind of an emotional state, which obviously this would be a super difficult experience to embark on, no doubt about it. But she has kind of willed herself, I would say, apparently to believe that this is absolutely going to work out. We see her saying a lot of things like, I just know that my husband is here. I feel like I can see my husband. When I'm done with this, I can be engaged. And this culminates within this episode with Dale arriving. So Dale gets out of the limo, and it really is, like Chris Harrison would say, my good buddy, the most dramatic moment ever that we've seen in The Bachelorette. He picks her up off the ground. She has this look in her eyes. She is so incredibly smitten by him. And he introduces himself, and he says something like, well, Clare, my name is Dale. And she says, nice to meet you, Dale. And it's in this just, I can't even imitate it, just this incredibly amused, my precious type sound to her voice. And she is absolutely enthralled. He walks away. She calms down and then says, I think I just met my husband. Chris Harrison, my good pal, walks in and says, we've never had anybody say that they just felt like they met their husband. Now, certainly we all have these moments in our lives when we feel this kind of butterfly, like super intense moment. And maybe these moments are placed into our consciousness sort of through evolution so that we can procreate and so that we don't miss an important attraction. I don't want to underestimate maybe what Clare is in tune with here as she's 39 years old and trying to find the man of her dreams. I guess we'll find out. Later when they do meet, they talk and they both seem really smitten with each other, and yet what we see them talking about doesn't seem to amount to much. He tells her that he's an empath. She says, me too. Usually empaths, I would say, are not attracted to each other. I think most people know, right? It's narcissist and empath is kind of that magnetic attraction. So we'll see what develops with this once-in-a-lifetime attraction between Clare and Dale, but clearly we see that this is the absolute centerpiece of this episode of The Bachelorette, so much so that it's really not even worth recapping anything else. So we move on. She goes ahead and eliminates Tyler, who was the tattle-tale with Yosef. The old common Bachelorette and Bachelor lesson, don't be a tattle-tale, you'll surely get eliminated. And the guy with the heart tattoo is eliminated also. So those are the significant eliminations. Other than that, it's all about Clare and Dale. And we see a very exciting preview of what's going to happen when Clare, quote, blows up the Bachelorette because of her explosive love for Dale. So that was my recap of The Bachelorette, episode 1. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have things you'd like to add, love to see that in the comments. And stay tuned this season for more very dramatic, Chris Harrison-like. I would aspire to be like my good buddy Chris Harrison, but I know I'll never make it. But these sort of realistic, folksy recaps, stay tuned for more of those this season. And thanks for watching.